back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Viz 55. It's a tier 10 Czechoslovakian heavy tank. It's located on the southwest spawn of Arctic region, and it's under the command of Kopotnik, or Konopik, sorry. Do apologise. Yep, he's in the OLIMP clan, and that's the same clan that Oxidor's in. Now the VZ55, it's quite a powerful tank actually. One of those ones that came into the game rather late and, well, fairly recently you could say. It's actually got a 13cm main gun capable of doing 490 alpha, and it's a 2-shot autoloader. So it is capable of doing close to 1,000 hit points of damage, 980 in total if it gets 2 shots. Penetration 260mm, so quite decent, but the reload time for 2 shots is 21.09 seconds, and 2 seconds between each shot, you can see there. Oh, took a 105mm round from the Shure, but he got one back, and 477 is a low roll. Now this is the first replay I think we've seen from Kopotnik, or Konopik, sorry, I keep getting it wrong. Konopik. Yes, it's going to take me... Konopnik, that's it, sorry. It's going to take me a little while to get used to that, but another shot penetrating and another low roll. He's getting spotting as well. Nice one into the 277 side near the engine. I've seen a lot of tanks using this ridge line here to actually fire on the enemy, although I have seen tanks defeated when they try to use this position. So it is entirely down to the user as to how effectively they can use this spot. Oh, nice one right into the top of the turret. Actually hit the cupola. He's now going for the tortoise. Guess the weak spot. In fact, in that one he got 503, which is a high roll, and he got some assists as well. In fact, he's picked up 1,093 of assists so far. 2,428 of actual damage. Yeah, that tortoise really has got a hard on. Takes another round through the observation, or the cupola, the loader's cupola, and he just took a hit so bad that he's now out of the game. The kill shot goes to the E100. Now bounces around from the Shure, who obviously didn't get it in, and again he's missed, but he's still got 4 shells. Oh, gets one in, but there you go, he's gone down now, and that was a kill for Konopnik. That's it. Yours is a very difficult name to pronounce. I will keep trying to. We're only 1 up on the enemy at the moment, but that could be crucial. Hit points wise, we're way up on the enemy. Look at that, 5,000, 7,000 up. So the enemy is really hemorrhaging hit points, and that's going to have a telling effect in battle. 3 tanks up now. Arty's really helping because those stuns are going in on those tanks, and of course they pop up. It's easier to hit them and get damage to them once they're stunned. Now a little way away there's a VK4503. Was that an 02? Sorry, it's the VK4502. Oh, he's going to go for that. Oh, God, that was close. That one went to the roof of the turret, but it didn't pen. And I think their 277 and their Superconk have made a bad error now, because he can drown them here. He's going to drown 2 tanks with 1 tank. They're both going to go down. They've both been stunned. He's going to hold them there until they drown. There's one. There's the other. 2 kills. Unfortunately, there's no medal for drowning people, but if there was, that was a great kill there. So 2 more kills for Konopnik. Oh, it's a tongue twister, isn't it, this one? Sorry. Okay. Kunstpanzer desperately trying to get down into the dip. It's going to make him vulnerable. Colonel Nick is going for him. Oh, he's going to get one shot of this. Yes, he does, and he pens. But it's the Ram. Ah, and that's a kill. And there's only one enemy left. It's their Arty, and he's only a short distance away. And he doesn't last very long because he's taken out by the TVP T5051. And the game is over. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for Nick in the Viz 55. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, one short of getting a top gun, one third of the enemy team. He also got a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a spotter for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, and he took down 2 tanks who damaged him by drowning them in that one, and also a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he ended up with 10, and he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a steel wall for blocking the most damage in that game. And 6,640 was the win rate, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. He said drown 2 tanks, lol. Well, they both made the same mistake. They thought they could get across the gap, and you can't get across that gap by doing that. You have to go high. But the wreck of the Tortoise was actually blocking them. By trying to think that they could go through the water, they gave Konopnik, a perfect opportunity to stop them coming out of the water and drown both of them. And there was no way they could pull back. He got them clean, fair and square. Let's have a look at team score. Well, when it came to damage in that one, he definitely got the highest with 5,442. Second highest damage went to the E100, who got the kill on the Tortoise. He got 3,034. And the third highest damage in the game turned out to be our Sharpfuture 4, who managed 2,713. When it came to kills, yep, Nick got 5 kills in that one. 3 kills went to the K91 PT and also to the TVP T5051, and he also picked up a Pascucci's medal in that game for killing both enemy Arty. And when it came to base XP, yep, he's got that one as well, so he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,298 to Nick. And 1,008 went to the K91, and they were the only 2 players who managed to get over 1,000, with the Sharpfuture 4 following up behind with 883. And the Object 261 managed to Confederate, and so did our FB3805. So they were working hard to punish the enemy. One of those artists, the Object 261, was Oxidor. Yes, I didn't realise that at the start of the game, but yes, he was pumping out shells. And I must admit, I think it was Nick who was actually, and he was in platoon with Oxidor, and he was the one providing the spotting that was enabling Oxidor to get 1,969 hit points of damage from that game. He, if we look at his figures, we can see got 9 shots off, 5 direct hits on the enemy, 15 splashes, so he multiple splashes on the enemy, so he was hitting more than 1 tank at the same time. 1,969 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 6 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but that gave him a Confederate. 1,935 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. So his shells were really, really working in that game. And it was a fantastic battle for Nick to actually get some damage on the enemy, because he was spotting, he was actually doing damage, and then of course he drowned them as well. If we look at the details, he can see that he fired 13 shots in the game, got 12 direct hits on the enemy and 10 penetrations. So only 1 shot didn't hit the target. 2 splashes as well, 5,442 hit points, all of it done at close range. He received 11 hits from the enemy, but only 5 of those actually penetrated, 6 non-penetrations, and 2,220 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 4 enemy vehicles, damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 5, and did 2,230 hit points of spotting assist. And most of that was for either Oxidor, or it was for the other Arty, the FB3805. He earned 84,221 credits in the game, but after repair, ammunition, respawn, consumables, and it's really the consumables that cost him here, he actually made a loss of 24,888 credits. So yes, if only those consumables hadn't been so expensive, he would have come off okay and got a tiny profit. He did get 7 bonds because it was a tier 10 game. 1,947 XP, no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. But what a fine battle in the Viz 55. It is a bit of a beast. It's got a really good gun, and it's very difficult to kill, as you saw in this one. But in the right hands, it can be very effective, and I love the way he drowned both the Super Conqueror and, of course, the 277 by just holding them underwater long enough for them to, yes, expire. Always funny when that sort of thing happens. Let's have a quick look at the armor model, because you probably want to see the Viz 55 again. Looking at the collision one at the moment, you can see that the armor is, well, fairly strong. 115 on the upper plate, actually coming out effective armor 230 or 220. Lower plate is only 140 millimeters, but coming out just under 200. It's got these brows around the turret. They actually act as spaced armor and of 70 millimeters. And the actual turret itself has got 180 millimeters. So overall, 252 or 280, depending on which angle you actually hit. The mantlet area is actually quite strong, very strong on the mantlet itself, and just around the mantlet, it's very strong. The only weak spots is actually the turret roof, which is only 52 millimeters, coming out effective 121, but shells are more than likely going to ricochet off because of the angle. The only way that you can actually penetrate is if you can overmatch the armor to actually get the shell through. The cupola is 200 millimeters, coming out 205, so that's fairly difficult to pen. About another weak spot is, of course, the driver's ports here, but again, very difficult to see them, especially if the tank is actually waggling its gun about, because then they can try and block your shot. Size of the tank are a little weaker, 90 millimeters coming out 113. Size of the turret 150, coming out 158. The rear of the tank is very vulnerable. It's effectively 90 millimeters coming out at about 100. The engine deck only 30 millimeters, so yes, you can pen them with Arty. And the rear of the vehicle only 85, coming out at about 95. So it is quite strong on the hull overall. The front of the turret is very strong. It's graduated, as you can see from the shading of the colours. The armour gets thicker the further you get round to the front, and of course those brows just add to the armour by the spacing effect, so it actually blocks the shots, especially heat rounds. It pre-detonates the heat rounds so far back from the actual armour of the turret that the jet of hot gas can't make its way through. Let's have a quick look at the live model. From the live model, if you were firing the standard armor piercing that this tank has, you can see that the weak spot is actually the upper and lower plate. The turret is not so weak, but you can see that it is possible to penetrate the cupolas. So yes, those are weak spots you could possibly aim for, but it's better to actually hit the hull if you can. Okay, let's have a quick look at the modules. And if we look at the modules, we can see that Wargaming haven't given out the module map for this one. I think all we can tell you straight off is the driver is sitting in the center up front. We've got the gunner on the right-hand side of the tank because he's got a gunner sight, and directly behind him is the commander, the tank commander, because he's got the cupola there. There is another cupola over on the other side of the vehicle. That's for the loader, and he's feeding the shells into that autoloader mechanism. We can guess that the engine is in the hull at the back, and that's where the fuel tanks will be as well. And all I can say is, because of the autoloader mechanism, I would think that there is a part of the autoloader in the back and the bustle of the turret. So I would aim for the rear of the turret if you can get it, where the armor is weakest. If you get behind one of these, try to go for that to get the bang. If you can't get the bang from there, try to go for the engine and take it out that way. It's better to hit the sides of this thing than it is the front, because there's a lot of armor on the front of the vehicle, not much at the rear. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why it's got this big bustle. It's not just the autoloader mechanism, but it's to counterbalance the weight of the gun and all the armor that's right at the front of the vehicle. It's kind of front heavy, this thing. But there you go, that's where all the modules are. So thank you very much to Konopnik. I'm trying to get this right. Konopnik. Yes, Konopnik. For sending us in this replay. We tried to do it as quickly as we could because it's actually quite a good battle. It's quite a fun one, especially when you drown someone. You don't often see people drowning two at once, but that was funny, that was. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.